Hello and welcome, dear viewers, to this HeflaTV presentation of Excellent Moscow Cup. This is actually the winner bracket final already. We didn't get to cast the semifinals, unfortunately, but still it should be an awesome game between Team Empire and Virtus.pro. I'm Coucher, of course, and today with me is Mito. And what do you think of this game, buddy?
Oh, well, hi, first of all, hi guys. Well, this game, I think Empire are coming in as the clear-cut favorites, but you gotta look at Virtus.pro and you gotta say, hey, these are some of the guys who've been at the top. You look at RSR, you look at NS, back then Virtus.pro was a force to be reckoned with. And I'm just hoping today they will show some of those like talents they used to have and some of those skills. Virtus.pro, they haven't been all that stellar as of late, and while as Empire, they've been on the roll. Like beginning of this year till now, they've won so many tournaments, and I guess it'll be great for Virtus.pro to really step up their game and give Empire a really hard time.
Yeah, I have to agree. Virtus.pro definitely has been in kind of a slump. They actually forfeited some tournament matches as well at some point. They were really on the verge of just completely quitting, it felt like, at least, but they've actually bounced back kind of strong. They're doing really well in JDL Division 1 as well. But this time, actually, the semifinals, Virtus.pro, they won against Power Rangers 2-0. I actually didn't get to see the games, but having it as 2-0, it looks like Virtus.pro, they're stronger. As Team Empire, they actually struggled a little bit against Oslick Gaming. So, I mean, like you said, Empire are the favorites, but Virtus.pro definitely has it in them to upset this. And Team Empire going for the Mirana first pick. And what do you think Virtus.pro should pick up against that?
Well, right now there's still a lot of really great heroes in the pool. You look at, say, Invokers in the pool, and then you have Sanking, you have Ancient Apparition, and right now it's just really hard to say. There are just so many heroes that could be picked. It's really hard to say, because Mirana, it's, once again, the hero is just so versatile, and it's hard to tell, like, how are they going to land the Mirana? So I guess right now the best thing for Virtus.pro to do is disregard the Mirana and focus on what they want, and focus on a strategy that they think will work for them, and then later on adapt to what Team Empire has to offer.
Well, I mean, like you said, they're going for their own strategy. They go for the IO to start things up with. Do you really think they're actually going to go for the IO partner straight away, or leave it as a secret to maybe force out a few bans by Empire?
Well, this is a little tough, because it's so early in the draft. It's hard to tell what's going to happen, but I say, I mean, the obvious go-to choices has to be Tiny. There's no better hero to pair up with the Wisp in this particular patch. And if you're going to go for a Wisp, I don't see why not. But once again, there are so many other heroes that can pair up with the Wisp. You can have the Rikimaru, Stealth Assassin, or you can have Gyrocopter, you can have Luna, you can have Morphling, Ursa. I mean, there's just infinite options. It's all about how they're going to play. As for Team Empire, I feel that, like, the old strat running that Lycan just about every single game, ever since Star Ladder, it feels like that strat has been figured out, and perhaps they're starting to change up their ways a little bit more. But I have seen the Mirana pick up very frequently as well. So it's hard to say there, I suppose.
Yeah, I think Empire, they really love their Shadow Demon. Always want to fly and Advanced Score both are really great Shadow Demon players. So yeah, that's exactly what they go for as well. That's just the go-to combination with the Mirana.
Oh, personally, I would love to see the Bane Elemental from Vansko, though. His Bane is just so out of the world. It's amazing every time I see it. But I guess Shadow Demon's just as entertaining. Or perhaps maybe someone bought the new set. You know, there's that new back for Shadow Demon, and it looks amazing. And perhaps they want to show it off a little bit.
All about the cosmetics. And well, actually, neither team is giving or not like too much away about their drafts. In Team Empire, especially for one, I mean, Mirana can still be a carry role support, whatever they wish, even maybe just send her mid lane if really necessary. Whereas Virtus.pro, well, Team Empire banning out the tree, so they don't care about too much about the IO partner. Like, I myself would really like to see an Ursa. The IO Ursa with maybe even a Mask of Madness, it could be pretty sick with the new buff, of course, on the Ursa, but I think they're gonna go for the Tiny because it combos really well with the Darkseer. Just Avalanche, Toss, as well as the Cleave from the Aghanim Scepter.
Oh yeah, on just on a side note, you know Ursa is actually a really good dire offlaner. If you lane him in the offlane, he can just start taking the ancient stacks from a very early on stage, like level 2, pretty much. And level 3, as long as you get Orbit Mass, you can already go in and sneak a rush. So I don't know if Team Empire has considered it, but I think Ursa is actually a hero that suits very well into the current patch. He just needs a little bit of like he can still get kited fairly easily, and as long as there's some way of guaranteeing him that like his teammates or whether he gets a sheepstick can lock down the opponent hero, it's almost a guaranteed kill in the early phase.
Yeah, well, Team Empire actually they would be able to help out the Ursa to a decent degree. Shadow Demon with the slow of the Demonic Purge, of course, and Mirana with the leap extra movement speed. But then again, he would be up against Tether movement speed as well as the Surge from the Darkseer, and now even the Morphling, who is kind of elusive thanks to the waveform and the replicate. So, I mean, Ursa might not be the best against the current Virtus.pro lineup at least.
Ah, yeah, definitely. He would just get kited so easily. But do you think this is actually going to be a tri lane with Io and Morphling, or do you think this? For me, personally, I'm looking at a potential dual mid, looking at the Io and Morphling. What are your thoughts?
Well, I actually have no idea. The Morphling could just as well be mid lane solo, but the IO Morphling actually could be pretty strong. The Morphling, the harass from the waveform, it's pretty strong, and with the IOs just supporting the Morphling's mana with his own bottle, it actually could be really annoying to go up against. And the kill potential of the enemy mid laner, even with the rotations coming in, it's not that high against IO Morphling, so it definitely could work out.
Yeah, well, I don't know. If I were Team Empire, would I consider a Naga here? Because Naga traditionally has been a great counter towards the IO combo. As soon as they relocate somewhere, you can just sleep. And you have the Shadow Demon plus Dazzle combination as well, where you just have that, you have that Shadow Wave doing so much damage when you have like multiple units surrounding the hero that you're trying to kill. But now the Disruptor, wow, that hero, it's always a headache to go up against.
Yeah, it's really good as well. The Mirana leaps away, nope, suddenly glimpse back. As well as, of course, the Static Storm. It has the potential at least to completely disable the Dazzle, maybe even the Shadow Demon. But wow, Empire, they go for the Axe, and actually, this maybe feels like an aggressive tri-lane with the Axe. Just massive creep skipping, thanks to the Dazzle heal, Shadow Demon there as well, and just get at least a tier 1 tower before like the 2-minute mark already.
I feel this is all the more reason for Virtus.pro to avoid that lane. With the Morphling IO Disruptor. I don't know. I can't tell much from this draft. It's so enigmatic to me. But do you think we'll be seeing a resolution mid-solo Mirana? Or how do you think the teams are going to lane at this stage?
Well, I think it comes down to the last pick from Empire at least, whether the Mirana is going to be mid lane or safe lane. Or I mean, they could just throw a range at us and just send the Mirana, Shadow Demon, Dazzle as a tri-lane. It's pretty damn strong. The Disruption to start things up, then the Arrow to follow, and Shadow Wave does extra damage thanks to the Shadow Demon illusions as well. Or the illusions created by the Disruption, that is. And just send the Axe, maybe even mid lane. I mean, Virtus.pro, they don't actually have like the most annoying mid laners up against Axe so far. So I guess that's also a possibility. Empire, they can just juggle it around a little bit.
Oh man, but I can already foresee the Darkseer with Disruptor combo. Vacuum into Kinetic Fields, Static Storm. Wow, they're in for Team Empire's gonna be in a world of pain if they ever get caught by that combination. Oh,
I mean, they certainly are, and the Disruptor is pretty nice against the Axe as well. If he's really fast on his reactions, can just immediately static storm up when the Axe blinks in, maybe just glimpse him out as well, just to make sure that the Culling Blade doesn't come out. And Team Empire, them picking up the Axe, it's good also because Virtus.pro can't get it. I think they probably wouldn't have gone for it anyway, but against the Dazzle it's pretty nice. And of course the Dazzle helps Axe to stay alive once he jumps in, so... I mean, Empire, they have the more aggressive lineup so far at least. And Virtus.pro, if they can just weather the storm until like 25 minutes or so without giving away too much, late game they should definitely have the advantage with the Darkseer Disruptor combination plus the Morphling just being farmed.
yeah. But the downside of Virtus.pro, I think what they need to pick up right now is a hero that can help take towers as well as have the ability to gank. Because if you want to truly utilize the IO combination, you need to down towers. Otherwise, if you don't exercise the map control and you don't down towers, even if you relocate somewhere, the opponent can just as easily TP support to the same spot. So potentially, I would say a hero that they need is somewhere that can... Okay, I
Well,
eat my
that's
words.
not
It's gonna
the
be a
hero.
Wraith King.
That is definitely not the hero that goes for massive tower push. Maybe if he gets an early Desolator can help out a little bit, but still. I mean, what do you actually think? Does the Wraith King fit into the lineup? And it really feels like that they will run 2-1-2 lanes now.
Well, from the looks of it, it feels like it's gonna be a 2-1, 1-2-2, or like 2-1-2. The Wraith King pickup, I like it. They kind of need that initiation. They need the kind of single target to lock down opponents. Because if you look at the other four, none of them can do it. None of them can say counter initiate either. Well, Ducks, well they all can counter initiate, but they don't have the single target lockdown for the smaller skirmishes. And I suppose that's what Wraith King brings, as well as just having 2 lives is always a bonus. Team Empire, on the other hand, it just feels like it's all about those ganks. Oh, OD. Late game OD hits the Morphling just so freaking hard. This is gonna be very entertaining for sure.
Well, I mean, OD definitely can be strong. He just needs to get the early start. And if Virtus.pro actually does go for like the dual lane mid and maybe dual lane safe lane, depending on how Empire themselves draft this, they actually might have the upper hand because their support rotations won't be available to go into the mid lane, so the OD should be relatively safe there to just farm up or at least get the XP and some resemblance of farm.
So it seems like right now Empire, they want to rotate out as a full team and hopefully get an early pickoff, as well as figuring out how Virtus.pro are gonna lane. But we're gonna have a pause. So
I guess we can just go over the lineups. I'll start with Empire. Up on the dire side, Vanscore will be playing the support Dazzle, of course, with Silent, playing the carry Mirana, leaving Mag to play the Axe, possibly offlane with the amount of regen he has on him. Resolution will be mid lane OD and always wanna fly. He's on the Shadow Demon. Oh, and they've smoked up early.
Oh. Okay, so I'll quickly introduce the Virtus.pro players before anything happens on the map. So on the Darkseer is going to be Arzart, and playing as a support Wisp is going to be Jotun. At mid, it does seem like it's going to be a mid Morphling at the very least. So God is going to be playing as the Morphling. I think dual mid or mid solo. Okay, so NS will be playing as a support Disruptor, and finally we have Illidan playing as the Wraith King carry as well.
Well, looks like Empire, they came prepared. They just block out 2 of the camps just to make sure that IO... I mean, I guess they're predicting some form of a dual lane mid. So just to make sure that the support on the mid lane can stack up for them to farm up later. Especially for the Darkseer. It's kind of easy to farm it up with the Ion Shell a little bit later on. And maybe just waveform for the extra damage. And well, looks like Virtus.pro, they want to run Disruptor Wraith King top lane up against a potential tri lane. Do you think it's worth it, or do you think Empire is actually not going to even go as a tri-lane top?
I felt Virtus.pro are trying to dodge the tri-lane, but in this scenario, it feels like Empire, they're going to do a 2-1-2 as well. So they have anticipated the Morphling IO dual mid, seeing that they warded the jungle camps. But for the rest of the lanes, I don't think this is what Empire was expecting. But nonetheless, the lanes are going to work out pretty nicely for them. I guess it comes down to how the heroes rotate and how they exert the lane dominance.
Well, NS already going aggressive straight off the bat. Thunderstrike on the Mirana. 1 or 2 right clicks as well. I mean, he has a set of tangos as well as a healing self. He should be fine for the time being. But once they get level 2 or 3 up on Illidan as well as NS, the Mirana has to be a little bit careful at least if the supports aren't around, because even if she leaps, she just might get glimpsed back.
Yep. And if you look at down at bottom, Ozar, he's getting zoned out as well, but at least he's still going to be able to get some gold and XP, because, I mean, it's just the nature of the hero Doxia. He can always surge away, and there's no way Team Empire can stop him as of now. And I really love this ward at top from Empire. I'll just ping it out quickly. It's so sneaky.
Yeah, it's... Oh, the disruption. No, the arrow actually doesn't connect. A little bit off on the timing. I don't think they actually would have had enough to get the kill anyway, but at least force them to maybe use some regeneration.
Oh man, if that arrow hit, yeah, Illidan, he'd be forced to heal up. See, one of the problem with Mirana is, like, he starts out with such a low base damage. He just can't zone out Illidan with so much HP pool, and starting out with a stout shield.
Yeah, it's really hard. Wraith King is pretty tanky. 3 base armor, it's pretty decent as well. Definitely better than like Io or Doombringer or Ember Spirit even. So Wraith King, relatively tanky. I guess the double range now, as Always Wanna Fly has actually rotated to the lane constantly. It does help them out a little bit, because the Wraith King can farm. Even if he has the stout shield and is that tanky, he can't just stay in the last hit range.
Oh yeah, it's far too dangerous. Well, this combo between Shadow Demon and Mirana, it's just so annoying to deal with. Because, I mean, not only do you get locked down with an arrow, but there's also illusions that can block you, and then the Soul Catcher amplifies
they want to
the
go,
damage
but the
even
range
more.
creep is at the right angle. Silent does connect with the arrow. Always want to fly though. Thunderstrike up on him, and oh, the glimpse as well. They actually might go for the kill. There's the Ray Fire Blast. Leap comes out for the extra movement speed. Oh, Soul Catcher as well. Always want to fly one more right click. That's all they need. NS wanted to leave it to Illidan, but can't really do it in the end. Or can he? One more. NS will get it. Oh, the Ray Fire Blast actually flew at the same time, and NS. Oh, Silent might get the double. He kills off Illidan. Oh god, if he kills NS as well, this is well gonna be worth it, even if they gave away the first blood. But oh, rotation's coming in. Oh yeah, with the extra movements from the tether. So they avoid disaster at least, but Illidan going down for the support, even if it was the first blood, do you think it was worth it?
No, definitely not for them. But at the same time, Morphling seems to be doing pretty okay at mid. Well, 13 last hits in 3.5 minutes, not that great, but they are able to somewhat contain the Outworld Devourer a little bit, I suppose. I mean, OD is just, if you let him, if any of the heroes in Virtus.pro right now go up
bottom lane,
one-on-one
Arsart might be in
against-
trouble. Berserker's Call comes out. There's the Shadow Wave as well. Oh, he gets the surge. Will it be enough? Poison touches on him. A few right clicks. And Vanscore gets the kill. He actually got boxed in by the Dire Creeps. Axe rotated around and really nicely done. And oh, mid lane resolution. Nope, they can't go on him if he has the Astral Imprisonment.
Yeah, OD, it's just so annoying to deal with. Those Astral Imprisonments, they already got nerfed, but nonetheless, just having no mana to do anything, it's ridiculous.
Oh, Silent might be in trouble. He has the leap, of course. The glimpse already came out. He's slowed down, and there's a point blank arrow onto Illidan just to make sure Silent survives. A nice disruption as well. Always Wanna Fly actually might go down. Ray Fire Blast. I think he only needs a few more right clicks. There's no treant or anything to heal him up, and he does take a fall. Silent wanted to go for the counter kill, but he's pretty low himself. Although 3 Shadow Poison stacks, it actually might be enough. He only needs 1 more right click. Might not even need that. Or no. Oh, if he goes in, I think he's gonna die. Oh god. Just so much back and forth. Kinetic Field Leap about to come off cooldown. Always Wanna Fly is there. Disruption. Oh, point blank arrow once again. And they want Illidan. 1 more right click. There's a nice healing wave from the Vanscore and NS. I mean, really nice rotations by the Dazzle. Didn't really think he's gonna come in, but he just completely ran from bottom to top lane and came in right at the exact time.
Wow, that rotation was amazing. Whoa. So that, I mean, with all the trades going on at top, you gotta look who's actually benefiting in the other lanes. How's Ozat doing? He's level 5, but only has 20 last hits, whereas the Axe is 27. So once again, we're looking at a fairly decent timing for an Axe Blink Dagger. Just about another 1100 to go. And it looks like NS has rotated down bottom as well, along with Illidan.
Oh,
And
they
I wanna
want
make
to
it go
get
on
the kill
Mag.
maybe. Mag Berserker's Call, the creeps are around. There's
Oh
the
my
Shadow Wave as
goodness.
well. The Calling Blade actually misses, but it won't matter really, then goes down anyway. Wow. I mean, don't go on a level 6 axe with like level 4 Wraith King. That just doesn't work out.
It feels like Virtus.pro, they're trapped. Whichever lane they rotate to, they're just doomed. I mean, Wraith King, wherever he goes, he's been dying. I mean, he only has 7 last hits in 6 minutes and has 3 death on his name. And things are not looking very good for Virtus.pro.
Yeah, even the mid lane, I mean, God, with the dual lane, I guess they were hoping to shut down the OD. But OD has 24 and 11 in the creep score, whereas Morphling has now 24 and 12. So it's neck and neck in the mid lane, although the OD has been solo all the time.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
he has a double damage as well now. I mean, he can just even harass the IO maybe if he comes close.
yeah, and the goal graph in only 6 minutes is already almost 3,000 in favor of Empire. And XP is looking just about the same.
Wow, that's a huge lead considering it's only 8, almost 7 minutes in. I mean, if they just
Yeah.
carry on the momentum, it's gonna be sick, especially if Mag only 700 gold away from the Blink Dagger. Although, oh, just look at the forces coming towards the bottom lane. There's the Berserker's Call onto Elite, and of course, no creeps around. Wraith Fire Blast, I think Axe went a little bit too deep. They have the glimpse, it's level 3 as well. God, coming in with Jotunheim, I mean, if Mag escapes this, I don't know. This is gonna be too sick. No, the Shallow Grave actually might go for the TP out. Oh my god, no, the Wraith Fire Blast comes out in time, and Mag gets glimpsed as well. Or no, Mag actually got glimpsed. I really thought NS glimpsed the Dazzle instead, but getting the most important kill, the Axe.
It's still not worth it though. You expend 4 players to kill 1 Axe. You didn't even manage to take down the support, so that was a 4 for 1. Like, you expend 4 people, you get 1 kill. Mid lane, Resolution is free farming. At top, Silent is getting pretty good farm as well. So, sure, they got the kill on Axe. They stole his Blink Dagger a little bit more. But it's just not enough at this point.
Do you think Axe maybe should have just gone into the jungle now to finish up the Blink, or is it better to go onto the lane just to apply some pressure on the enemy?
Oh, Axe. I think he can stay in the lane. I mean, it took 4 people to kill him. And with a Wraith King as well as a Disruptor, he's not going down anytime soon. In fact, he can just exert his lane dominance, put a lot more pressure. He can even start creep skipping if he wants to. But why do you need a creep skip when you can contest against a Wraith King? When he wants to farm, you just run up there and scare him off. I think Wraith King is the one who actually needs to go in the jungle and farm, but Doxy is already there.
Yeah, he is level 5, definitely needs at level 6. He has the power there now at least, so tanking up a little bit, and I guess Disruptor being level 6, it can definitely help them out as well with the Static Storm now. Glimpse is still level 3, as was of course when he was level 5. But will the illusion actually bait something out for Max? No, NS looks like he knows that it's an illusion. They had the wards, so that spotted it being picked up. And still, I mean, last hit wise, you can just see the 3 cores of Empire being in front.
Oh yeah, and Axe, his illusions are hella annoying as well. Because they spin. I mean, I can't think of any heroes that can do more with illusions. I know Centaur's returns full damage with illusions as well, so that's pretty nasty as well. Yeah.
Well, I mean, so far Illidan at least has a level 6 now, so can maybe be a little bit safer, but oh, Mag has his Blink there now. So this might be huge, and there's rotations in the mid lane as well. They might set it up with the Astral Imprisonment Silent. He's on the high ground just waiting it out. And there's the arrow to fly, it's just a scouting mission, doesn't connect. Oh, the Static Storm comes out bottom lane. There's the disruption as well. Mag, he wants to go for the kills. There's the glimpse onto Mag himself. And oh god, Vanscore might be in trouble. They kill off Wraith King once. There's the Shallow Grave as well. He's waiting for the Wraith Fire Blast. 2 more seconds. Mag kills off the Disruptor. Can he go for more? A nice TP out as well by Vanscore and Mag. He gets stunned, so I don't think they'll get Illidan. Or will they? There's the Soul Catch as well.
Dagger.
4 seconds on Berserker's Call. I mean, he wants to go for it. If you right clicks, there's the Wraith Fire Blast creeps coming in. He needed the Berserker's Call for it to be even remotely close, but mid lane, they finally kill Resolution.
Oh wow. That's something that is really needed. And finally, they have a little bit more room to breathe. God, he's going to be able to get some last hits, and he's going to be feeling a lot better, not having to contest against an OD. And he's going to start having mana to use Waveform as well.
And actually, checking at OD's items, he has Boots of Speed and Gloves of Haste. Do you think it's just gonna be the power trades, or is he gonna go for a Midas?
I don't see any reason why he shouldn't go for Midas, but at the same time, I think either way should be
Oh,
fine.
relocate top lane. A nice leap to the low ground by Silent. Avoids having vision, or Disruptor having vision to glimpse him back as well. I mean, that's a relocate wasted now.
I thought the Thunderstrike landed on Silent as well. And if the Thunderstrike was used, NS should have the vision to glimpse him back. Maybe it was out of range. I'm not sure.
It is level 3, so not the maxed out range yet, but I think he should have been in range. Maybe he actually got body blocked a little bit by the relocate of the IO and Morphling. Might have been that, or, well, lucky escape nevertheless for Silent.
Yeah, but back to the point of OD going for a Midas. I think it's still by far the best option. Your teammates are dominating their lanes, and if you get a catch-up Midas, you're most likely going to have the room. You don't have to be the one that engages and plays aggressive. You have the Axe, you have Mirana Moonlight Shadow, you have the Shadow Demon if anything goes wrong, so I would say that's a safe bet for OD.
Oh, they want to kill the OD though. 4-man middle once again. And Resolution, he has no idea this is going on. Oh, he might be in huge trouble, but there's no massive initiation except for the glimpse mate. There's the glimpse. Oh, there's the static storm as well. No save. Astral imprisonment. Oh, the shallow grave comes out though. They actually might keep Resolution alive. Those rotations, Vanscore's just spot on it. There's Mag as well. Under the Moonlight Shadows, he has the Blink Dagger coming up in 1 second. There's the Berserker's Call. They want to kill Chotem as fast as they possibly can. Sanity's Eclipse. There's the Dunk. They have the extra movement speed. Mag gets caught a little bit by the Rayfire Blast as well. But they are able to just stay alive. Man fight Elite and he's Ion Shield up. So does a decent amount of damage. And Mag now might fall. The last spin, he does go down. So Chotem for Mag. And there's another glimpse, they might get Vanscore as well. The arrow comes in, though, Silent. Oh, Archer, 5 seconds done, nothing he can do. They might go for more, though. He has the leap. There's the extra movement speed. Illidan, 1 Starstorm might be enough. Rayfire Blast. Oh, God. Astral Imprisonment goes out as well. Io relocates back in, and God, does he want to go for the waveform? Yes, he does, but Illidan goes down before Resolution. He's on the run now. I don't think he can actually escape the tether movement speed, and yes, God will get the kill. So, what? A 3-4-3 in the end, I think?
Oh wow, that was a very, very interesting fight. I felt like if OD did an Astral X, he might have survived. If he Astraled, say, the Wraith King instead. But ultimately, I think that trade favored Virtus.pro, would you say? I mean, now they're having a little... The room is starting to grow, and it looks like Morphling has managed to save up another 2,000 gold.
What do you actually think the Morphling should be looking for as an item? I mean, Lincoln Sphere... Would it be actually useful for him? Oh, they find more, always want to fly. Just blown up. Continue.
Well, the way Burning plays it when he's really behind, like the way Chinese people do it is, from what I've seen, they tend to go straight for BKB or go for a straight Ethereal Blade Rush. And I'm just trying to figure out whether or not this is a game where it's actually okay to rush an EV. When you're up against OD, yeah, I think EV should be fine as long as you don't get jumped and you don't eat the Sanity's Eclipse straight to the face when you're in ethereal form. If you look at VP right now, what do they really need? They need the solo pick-off ability instead of having 4 players trying to kill one guy every single time. And you have the Wisp relocate. So if Morphling ever wants to go for someone, then you're always going to have the Wraith King and the Wisp relocating in, or vice versa. Wraith King engages. But it does seem like God wants to play it safe, and he's going to go for the Lincolns, because he already has a Ultimate Orb. Or in fact, can it be a Scotty Rush or a Manta Style? I love Scotty Rushes. I just want to put it out there.
Well, Scotty definitely would make him a lot tankier as well as just maybe able to even kite the axe around a little bit. I mean, of course, Morphling himself has rather low range, so it would be better if with the Manta Style illusions, I guess, but still, it's possible. The Lincoln Sphere, I guess it's good to just maybe for the Demonic Purge, Poison Touch. There's not actually too much else. I guess the Astral Imprisonment, but you don't have to be that afraid of that spell anyway.
Yeah, and for Morphling, I would say having the Scotty is perfect in this game. The more intel you have, because Scotty, what kind of item is it? It's all about stats. And you're getting all 3 stats, and that's a great thing for Morphling. He needs all 3. Especially against an OD, whereas ultimate is about the difference between the intelligence level. That will help him a lot.
Oh, we might
In
see a
fact,
fight. They find G. He has to replicate out. And yeah, that's exactly what he does. They might find Jotum at the very least. He has to relocate, but can't really do it. Point blank arrow with the Starstorm on top.
oh, poor fella.
They actually knew this was coming as well. I mean, God, he actually pinged out the rune spot when they exactly at the moment they were running past it. So, I mean, they should have just backed off under the tower into the trees, I guess. But oh, arrow won't connect on Illidan. So close by Silent. He had the double damage as well. If the arrow had it, that would have been a dead Grave King at least once. And oh, they want to re-engage NS. Oh, he can't actually disposition Silent with the glimpse at the moment because Silent really hasn't left his part of the river.
I felt this is a very successful play from Virtus.pro. They forced out the TP reaction from Empire to defend the tower because Empire, they felt that they're still ahead in the game and they don't want to give up any towers. So they have half the team TP mid. But now that they don't have any TP mid, I don't see why Virtus.pro don't want to re-engage at bottom. Because you know the supports aren't going to be there for Empire. And if you have, say, Wraith King TPing in and then Relocate comes in, that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I guess they just don't want to give anything away at the moment. Although, in the farm game, I guess in the end they will win. But just Empire's lineup is maybe a little bit more explosive with the Axe. And actually Axe going for the Vanguard, what do you think of that item?
Vanguard. It does negate a lot more damage, so I can see why it works. Because they're looking for a lot of team fights. He just wants to go on and on and on without ever having to stop. But personally, I still prefer the Aghanim Scepter. Because it just feels like it keeps you rolling for so much longer. And that kill threshold just goes up by a tiny bit more. But, yeah.
Well, he's going in on Illidan. There's not too many creeps around for the spins actually. So, oh, there's the Shadow Wave. Massive amounts of time. Static Storm. No Calling Blade for them. There's the Relocate as well. They have to back off. Vanscore went for a really early Shadow Wave. Nice vacuum wall onto 2 as well. Silent leaps out. He's still alive and Mag nothing to do except run. He maybe can kill off Jotum. The Calling Blade actually does get the kill. Jotum so squishy by nature on the IO. And Mag actually runs away with the Calling Blade movement speed. But still a 2-for-1. And oh, they're going to get Mag as well. Rayfire Blast and always want to fly. He's not safe either. Oh god. Glimpse in 3 seconds time. Illidan gets surged up. Rayfire Blast to cool off. And a disaster of a fight for Empire. They just lose 4 for only 1 support. Well, the disruption buys some time, but the end result is the same.
Wow, so Virtus.pro, they've really gathered themselves and pulled their way, clawed their way back into the game. And that fight just totally went one-sided. And things are starting to look interesting. I think this is going to be a very long game where you have a Midas on resolution. He's about halfway, more than halfway to his 4th staff. And everyone's going to be looking up to farm up the core items. And you're saying Virtus.pro has a stronger late game, but I have seen Morphling versus an OD in the ultra late game phase, and it feels like OD just crushes Morphling.
Well, it definitely does help as well that OD usually builds for the Hex as well. So if the Morphling doesn't go for the BKB, it might hurt him. Then again, Virtus.pro, they don't only have the Morphling, they have the Wraith King as well. Oh, Mac goes in on the Wraith King, as I just talked about him. Berserker's Call, some damage from the Shadow Wave, but Moonlight Shadows comes out. Static Storm, once again, they have the dust, but they don't have the damage follow-up, or do they relocate? Comes in, God, wait for me, nice vacuum as well, Mag. A nice disruption with the Shallow Grave. I think the disruption actually was a little bit unnecessary, but they get the blink out. A nice Sanity's Eclipse, but everybody's still alive. They just can't manage to find the kills. They do kill off Illidan at the very least, and actually, well, the Reincarnation was down, and the Resolution, the Glimpse, doesn't do absolutely anything, because Virtus.pro, they're completely out of mana, so a 1-for-1, and actually, Virtus.pro, they lose a core. Oh, they might lose God as well. He doesn't have any mana for the relocate. Or not the relocate. And Arshart might be in trouble as well. And oh, what a regeneration rune. G gets the adaptive strike. He loses the regeneration effect. And Arshart's just gonna surge away. Or is he Berserker's Call coming off cooldown on Mag? Does it actually connect? No, he doesn't even need it. Arcane Orb to come out. And they will get the kill with the Calling Blade. Just
yeah, and that whole time, Silent wasn't in the fight. Silent was just farming down at bottom and realize, oh dear God, I need to be in the fight to help my teammates. Runs all the way across, but the fight just keeps on shifting leftwards on the map, and he can never get to the place where that he needs to be to help clean up. So yeah, I don't know. Yesterday we saw a game of throws, and it just kept going back and forth. This game, it feels like Empire had the early game lead. The laning phase was extremely dominant, but now I think everything's just hanging in balance. Even the scoreboard says so, 13-13. And goal graph is still in favor of Empire. XP also 3,000 in favor of Empire. But it doesn't feel that. It really doesn't feel that big.
Yeah, it really does not. And I guess Empire, they need a little bit more farm. I guess they're 3 cores. They have a decent amount of farm. But Virtus.pro, we actually haven't seen a proper static storm into kinetic field with the vacuum combination. So that's also one strong thing from Virtus.pro that can come out.
Yeah. And God, he's doing extremely well. I mean, sure, he doesn't have the most number of last hits, but he's got 5 kills, 0 death, and 5 assists. Oh, the glimpse. How annoying is it to play against a disruptor?
That always on flies like, I guess I'll just push some other lanes then do something else useful. But that actually made sure that there's no way Empire can actually defend this tower.
Yeah.
Always on fly, he finds Illidan. Oh, he's in such a bad position. There's the relocate coming in as well. If the Shadow Demon escapes, I'll be surprised. God, he has the waveform in 1 second. Moonlight Shadows, I think that might be enough. Oh, there's the dust though, yeah. Disruption comes out. There's Silent as well. He has the extra movements. He picks up a double damage rune and, well, relocate got used. They're all alive. And Mag, he wants to go in. Blink a little bit off target. There's the Adaptive Strike. Oh, Purge into the Lincoln Sphere. Oh, always want to fly. So unlucky. And Mag now taking a lot of harassment. But it's not enough as a resolution. He has the Sanity's Eclipse as well. It's level 2 if he really wants to go for it. But he actually gets popped down by the wall. The vacuum comes in as well. Mag, a nice Berserker Skull. There's the Calling Blade. Gets to pop the Reincarnation. But Mag, he's just running away from all the heroes. He can't really do it. Oh god, another disaster for Empire. Vanscore is gonna go down as well. They're just going a little bit too aggressive.
Wow, that was looking so good for Empire. And all of a sudden, OD dies without ever dropping the Sanity's Eclipse. And the Calling Blade, I just realized something. The Calling Blade was used on the Wraith King. And the slow kind of negates the effect of the Calling Blade aura. Because you get 40% bonus movement speed. And Reincarnation slows you by 75%. So it completely negates what the Calling Blade does. And it feels like with all those slow heroes, Virtus.pro just got easy pickups. But man, have they made a comeback.
Yeah, well, looking at the graphs, gold lead only 1,000, just dropping down from, or XP lead rather, down to 1,000 from around 4.5k. Gold lead dropping from 5k to 2.5k. So Virtus.pro steadily but surely, they're just crawling back.
I think at this stage, Empire needs to slow down a little bit. They do have the Midas on OD. They should look for small pickoffs. And Mirana can always take the dangerous farm, because essentially, what's a Morphling going to do to you with a Wisp Relocate? They're not going to be able to kill you. You're just going to leap away. Unless the Disruptor is going to be there. And as with that glimpse, man. So I think Mirana is starting to head towards a BKB, if I'm not wrong. Yep, the Mytho Hammer is already flying towards him.
Yeah.
Man.
Now, I mean, do you think that Empire, I mean, they can't really play reactionary Dota because every time they try to defend and resolution might be in trouble. No, God just goes aggressive. Mag wants to blink in as well and actually won't get on target. He got blocked a little bit by the OD himself. I guess they defend their tower, but Vanscore TP'd in as well on the Dazzle and they don't get anything out of it, whereas Silent forced to, well, he got the tower. So, oh no, the tower got denied by Arsart, so, I mean, Empire, they're really at a lack for just movement and decision making.
Yeah, it feels like they're catching... They're trying to catch Virtus.pro, but they can never find them in the right place at the right time. And every time it feels like, hey, we have the man advantage. Suddenly, the Wisp relocates in, bring in someone else, and suddenly it's a full 5-on-5 combat. And oh man, that ward is just so good from Virtus.pro.
Yeah, easy pick off vacuum or rather god. Adaptive Strike, the arrow actually comes out, but doesn't even connect. I mean, they're just falling apart. I mean, they're trying to look for something with the Moonlight Shadows now. And actually they might find God as well. The relocate already was used, so no way to save them. If they ever have an opportunity to kill them, it's now. And they go in resolution, gets the Astral Imprisonment off. They want to pop the Lincolns, they do so successfully, and Mag, what the absolute fail for them, and the rotations coming in by Virtus.pro. There's the glimpse onto Mac. He's completely alone in the static storm. The right clicks, it's just enough to get him down.
Oh man, they waited for so long. They wanted to catch the Wisp, but because I mean, there's no point going on the Morphling. If you go on the Morphling, Wisp would just relocate him out of any kind of trouble. But forcing it on the Wisp and then all that rotations coming in, it just doesn't seem worth it for Empire.
It started out really well. It was 13-13 on the kill score at some point. Suddenly 18-13 Empire. I mean, it's almost like they've gotten team wiped without getting any in return at the moment.
There's no answers. That's all I can say. And even Wisp, look at Io. He's gotten 2,000 gold for himself. And it feels like this Morphling, man, he's gonna be pretty unstoppable soon. I mean, he already has 8 kills, 0 death, 7 assists. He's not dying. Virtus.pro, God.
Wow, this Morphling really, he's been a part of 15 kills of the 18 that they actually have on their team. Talk about a high involvement Morphling. I mean, it's really good for him as well. He's been getting a lot of gold from them, of course. But not only has he been getting gold from the kills, he has a decent amount of last hits as well. 133 now. So just rotating around. I guess most of the kills do come from relocates, so he actually doesn't lose too much farm time. Oh my god, there's another static storm. There's the vacuum kinetic field. It catches 3 heroes, man score. Nothing he can do. Relocate comes in. They pop mag. Now always on the fly. He's the only one alive. Will they get resolution? A nice arrow pops the reincarnation, but resolution slowed down because of it. The moonlight shadows. He's there and actually, oh, Jotum just relocates back as Silent was about to kill him. But God, he doesn't want to give up, and resolution Ray Fire Blast in the face. Nowhere to run, buddy. And that's 4-0. Oh my god.
Wow, I think it all stemmed from that mid fight where Resolution didn't come to the aid of his teammates, and it kind of just started turning around. What do you think is the turning point in the game for you?
I can't actually point out like one single mistake or wrong thing that Empire did. I guess it did start. I mean, they just lost one fight. They were nicely ahead. They had the momentum. But one fight was all they needed. Of course, just the fight where the axe dunked Illidan and slowed everybody down. Oh, what a vacuum, always on the fly in the Roche pit. Actually doesn't get the Aegis. They get the Roshan kill at the very least, and always on the fly. He's gonna fall down, or God, they get the kill. They pop the Aegis immediately, so not that bad of a rotation, but Silent. He's locked in, the arrow connects as well, but oh, glimpse back. There's the kinetic field van score. He has the shallow grave if really necessary mag. Does he want to blink in? Yes, he does. They kill off one. They want to go for endless. There's the calling break. Can he get more? He gets stunned. There's the relocate. It's only Chotum though, and they might get Arsart. No, he's far enough, and Mag can't really chase him down. He actually gets halberded in the middle of the fight and gets taken out, but oh, really? Then he's so low. Silent. There's the Starstorm. He wants to kill Chotum. He actually relocates back again. Oh, that's so close. The vacuum comes out, and God, waveform. No resolution. He's there to back out Silent. But Chotum, twice now, he survived so closely, and both times he just relocated out.
Ah, no, the first time he died. He got killed by the Mirana. Yeah, he instant bought back, relocated in, and then tether up the Morphling, and then once it ended, that's why he's back in the base. But I guess that wasn't too bad from Empire, I feel. The BKBs are not too far for the OD. Mirana already has BKB, so as soon as the heroes start having those BKBs come online, then suddenly I feel like it's going to be another shift in the momentum, and Empire, they will have a chance at coming back. It all depends on how fat this Morphling is, though, and he still hasn't died. And it seems like, oh, after that casual Yasha, he will be going straight for that E-Blade. And I say, why not? Who can really contest him right now?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing he has to be mindful of is the Sanity's Eclipse, but even that shouldn't be enough to actually kill him. He's sitting on 60 intelligence, whereas OD is sitting on 97, because OD, his only intelligence item is actually the 4 staff at the moment. Maybe the power dress if he switch it to int, but
if he can stall in a fight where he gets like say 2 to 3 or even very lucky 4 astral imprisonments, then he will have an extremely high amount. But so far, because he went for the BKB, he's not gonna have a very high damage output with his arcane orbs or the Sanity's Eclipse. So he needs a lot. And Empire, it just feels like the focus hasn't been on resolution. It feels like they're putting a lot more emphasis on trying to shut down Morphling, and it just hasn't been successful. And Silent, he's been farming all across the map as well. It just feels like Silent he's somewhat detached from the rest of his team. He's playing very well, but it just feels like every team fight they just lack him. They need him to be there, and a lot of times it feels like he decides to go for that split push.
Yeah, and it's gonna get harder as well because Empire's item progression, it has more or less stopped. Sure, Silent is getting some items, but the Morphling, he will outcarry the Mirana at the very least. And of course now the Shiva's card is only 50 gold away for our start on the Darkseer. And the Shiva's card, it's gonna be a real nuisance in the team fight. Extra magic damage, extra slows, as well as the attack speed slow.
What happens when you have Shiva's God plus Wraith King dying? So nobody moves.
Yeah, well,
They're stuck inside the vacuum wall. Oh, now that's gonna hurt.
oh, and, well, what else is gonna hurt is the Ethereal Blade up on God, and oh, Jotun finds himself a haste rune as well, so can keep up with God's movement speed with the Yasha. Mjolnir is finished up on Silent, but I don't think it will be enough. They're just gonna have to sack this tower, they can't really defend this. Or can they? Oh God, he wants to go for the shotgun, always want to fly. Oh, he's just fast enough with the Tranquil Boots, but they catch NS with a 5-second arrow. They will kill the Disruptor straight off the bat. The tower falls, but Illidan is really low. Shotgun onto always want to fly. There's the vacuum, but the BKBs, they just avoid it. And there's the right clicks coming out. There's the Mjolnir procs as well. They do a lot of damage with Mag. Might go down on the X. A nice shallow grave. He's still alive and silent. He has to back off finally as well. They did pop the reincarnation. One more arcane or maybe would have gotten the kill. And so far, a 1-for-1. All the ultimates popped. I think Empire, they maybe should have gone a little bit more aggressive there. Or what do you think?
They totally can. And
Berserker's Call actually catches God. He's out of mana as well. Nowhere to run. Oh, that's a huge kill.
Oh my goodness. That was like 1400 gold for Mag. And that's gonna be his Aghanim Scepter completed for the next fight. And yeah, so BKBs, man. This item just changes the flow of the game. It just keeps going back and forth. And, well, what can I say? BKB doing work. But that was a beautiful arrow from Silent. Just...
yeah. Making sure that no disruption shenanigans are there with the kinetic field or static storm, that's actually really important for them.
Yeah, and it's just copped it full to his face and fell face flat and died.
And Empire, they're the aggressors now, going for at least a tier 2. And the Aghanim Scepter just brought out by the Courier as well on Mag, and he's only one level away from the maxed out Culling Blade. So, potentially a lot more Culling Blades to be seen in the future.
Oh, NS! He got caught by the arrow again. But he's gonna be fine this time around, because he's not standing under the opponent's tier 2. He's standing under his own tier 3, feeling very safe.
Yeah, it's lucky for him this time around. I guess he's an arrow magnet, or at least has been for the last couple of minutes. And actually now, looking at the itemization of both teams and the heroes, who do you actually think, has the better in the late game? Wraith King, he's actually not going for any damage items whatsoever. He has a Heaven's Halberd plus a Vladimir's Offering. So Morphling, he's gonna have to solo carry this with the help of the Darkseer and the Disruptor combination.
I say for Virtus.pro, the key is, it's not even about the Morphling, it's about the Darkseer plus Disruptor. And the key for them right now has to be the Aghanim Scepter.
Oh, Glimpse onto Silent. He popped the BKB for it.
Yeah. It's worth it, forcing out a BKB charge with a Glimpse. So those BKBs are going to keep getting shorter and shorter, and that's going to benefit Virtus.pro's combo. But that Aghanim Scepter is going to be crucial for NS. He needs it bad, because every time they try to put off that big combo, you can expect Empire to just open those BKBs, walk away, or even just stand and fight. And if all your ultis and skills are wasted, then essentially you're expecting God to use his right click and down everyone. I think if it does go late game though, essentially in the end, I still somewhat do favor Empire a little bit more, just because they have OD as well as Mirana, and since Wraith King isn't going for any damage-oriented items, I'm not too sure about this. Illidan not going for any.
Oh God, wants to blow up, always want to fly. There's the heal though. Oh, that was pretty damn close. Way too close for comfort for Shadow Demon. Oh Mag, he wanted to go in, but the blink's out by Arsart. But yeah, I guess OD getting the sheepstick definitely the next big item for them. And Mag, do you think he should be looking towards a BKB on the X as well?
Mag, I want to see a playmill more than a BKB. He doesn't. I feel as an axe, you just want to go in and soak up as much damage as possible, and one of the best ways is having that huge HP pool. And if you look at what's Silent, he has a Mjolnir. If he puts a Mjolnir onto the axe, then suddenly axe is a very threatening hero. If you hit him, he's gonna have those lightning procs coming straight back at you. Yeah.
Well, it's definitely pretty scary. I mean, we saw the Mjolnir come into effect a little bit in the last fight. It actually did some pretty nice AoE damage with all the procs coming around. And Silent, he has the Demon Edge now on top of it, so 48 damage rather, with one right click. It's not too shabby, and well, I guess it's a Monkey King bar to just make sure the Brave King 7's Albert isn't as effective. And a potential butterfly, of course, by God.
Yeah. What do you think God is gonna go for? Because I don't like Manta style when you're up against an OD with Arcane Orbs. The Arcane Orbs, they just demolish those illusions in about half a second. And not only that, you have more spinning targets for Axe.
I guess the Skadi would still be a pretty decent option. Just massively tank up with the item and of course have the slows. I mean, having the Yasha in his inventory just randomly, I don't think he should go for an SNY by any means. Manta style would still be better than that, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And Manta style, you can use it to split push. The thing is, how long will those split pushes last? Unless you're going for a base race. Because as long as the OD is around, those illusions aren't going to do very much. But if for some reason, say OD is pushing a lane or OD has died, then those illusions will become very, very effective. Since Morphling is a stats monster, all the stats are going to benefit him. And illusions are all about stats based. Morphling always has some of the most powerful illusions in the game.
Yeah, the attack speed is pretty sick on the Morphling himself, and of course on the illusions as well. And well, I guess we'll find out soon enough. At the moment, he actually might be saving for buyback just to be on the safe side. Because if Empire, if they get one good fight and catch Virtus.pro without buybacks, I mean, this might be horrible for them, and I guess Roshan might be the objective for both teams.
Yeah, at this stage, everyone needs to save for buyback, and I just want to quickly look at the buyback status. Alright, so every single core in the game has buyback. Only the supports on both sides don't have buyback. And it just goes to show the discipline of professional teams. Because don't you have those YOLO games where you feel like, man, I just want that big item, and I can just about kill everyone. And then you get it, and you die, and then you end up losing the game, and it's like facepalm.
I would go for the item straight up. And well, in what cases do you think it's actually worth going for the straight up item? Like Resolution, he used all of his gold, got the sheepstick, Mag got the Reaver, and of course Monkey King bar finished up as well, so suddenly there's no buybacks at all anymore on Empire.
Well, I would say sheepstick on certain heroes is an exception, I suppose. Because that hero, I mean, that item alone can really just end up completely changing the outcome of a fight. And for OD, essentially, it gives him so much more damage output, Arcane Orb as well as Sanity's Eclipse, so I guess it's justified in that sense.
Oh,
but
we might
it
get
is
a huge
also a
clash.
high-risk strat. If they do lose this fight, you know that Rosh is going to be gone, or even possibly, potentially, a tier 2 plus a tier 3.
Yeah, they can't really lose this fight. If Empire loses, oh, there's the Hex on NS, they want to kill the Disruptor, Purge as well, the mech doesn't help, there's the Sanity's Eclipse, Illidan drops very low, God comes in, activates his Manta style, actually doesn't have buyback anymore either, a nice disruption on the Morphling, it's a really strong spell against him, the Illusion's working against him, there's the Shiva Scar by Arthur, he's completely out of mana though, Silent, has the leap, oh, 1 second, actually they're still alive, 1 for 2 so far, Mag, a nice Berserker Skull Illidan, I don't think he can escape this, nice heals as well onto Silent. And Illidan wants to do some damage. Wayfire Blast gets dodged by the leap and a nice Culling Blade. So Empire, they were toying a little bit without having buybacks, but they win the fight and quite like considerably as well. 3 for 1.
Oh yeah, that sheepstick just did huge work right there. I mean, instantly hex up on NS, so you couldn't pull off the big combo. That was totally worth it. The sheep upgrade.
And actually, one thing that we didn't even talk about before is the Shadow Demon disruption on the Morphling. It creates really strong illusions.
Oh yeah, we totally forgot. Oh,
He actually
I'm
got
glad
it
you
off
brought
this
it up.
fight as well, so the Morphling actually had to back off from the illusions. The disruption is level 3, so could do 10% more damage, but still it's pretty nice.
yeah. I mean, the illusions essentially do just as much damage to the Morphling. I mean, the two illusions combined, they do the equivalent of what Morphling does. So that's something that you pretty much want to run away from.
Yeah, and, well, if the Morphling actually had an Eye of Skadi, that would be horrible for him.
Oh, I don't think it carries over to illusions, the Scotty effect.
Oh yeah, I guess it only works with the Darkshare wall.
Thank God.
Yeah, that would be pretty damn sick. But the mana break from anti-mage carries over, so I'm not too sure even.
Ah, yeah, that does. But I don't know. In Dota 1, it didn't carry over to illusions. But I don't know. Maybe they changed something in Dota 2.
Yeah, I can't say for sure. I guess we might actually have a chance to find out this game, maybe.
Oh yeah. So it's time for God to save all his money. Because he of all heroes, he has to have buyback no matter what. I think earlier you were asking me when is it time for you to go for like that upgrade. And I guess Sheepstick, that was a clear indication right there. Like it was game changing. It's a game changing item, Scythe of Ice. And another time would be when you have nothing to lose. You just say, yeah, we gotta go all out. Or there are times where whether or not you save for a buyback will not make a difference. For example, you're a gyrocopter with 2 divine rapiers, and if you save for buyback and you don't have money to buy 2 more divine rapiers, then essentially there's no point to have that buyback. Might as well just go all in, upgrade all your items to its maximum potential, take that one big team fight, hope you win it, and then push all the way.
Oh, looks like Empire, they do want to do exactly that. Push all the way, they've smoked up. And the relocate can be coming out from God as well as IO. And well, Virtus.pro, they back off smartly. They knew, or rather they didn't see anybody on the map, so it only makes sense that somebody's gonna gank somewhere. And they dodge most of it, or all of it rather. So at the moment I guess it's time to look at the graphs again. The gold graph, it actually zeroed out at some point. But oh god, might be in trouble. The Hex not there. The Berserker's call to start things out with. There's the Hex as well. Do they actually have enough damage? But the relocate will bring him to safety. Or will it? Oh, nice Astro imprisonment. Just in time. Oh my freaking god. They will just kill off Jotum now. Wow.
Oh my goodness. That Astral. But the pun, that was funny. That was hilarious. Oh my god. I lolled.
But yeah, looking at the graphs again now. It was completely zeroed out at some point. Virtus.pro was staging a bit of a comeback, but suddenly it's around 8k in gold now for Empire. And the XP, it actually almost went to 5k for the side of Virtus.pro, now plummeting down once again, and it's around 10,000 for the side of Empire, so kind of back and forth, nothing like massive throws or anything, but Empire now, once they gain back the momentum, they haven't oh, Silent! Gets the leap out, the waveform damage won't be there, but the shotgun, it's getting pretty scary. Oh, NS surged up as well, but they don't have the vision.
Yeah. Well, I think the turning point was the 2 BKBs coming up from Empire, as well as that huge arrow onto NS. And every time NS dies first in a team fight, it just feels like there's not enough follow-ups from Virtus.pro. Sure, the Morphling goes in, sure you have the vacuum wall, but without the disruptor to silence everyone and just disable anything that Empire can do, it just feels like it's not enough. And right now, I feel like NS is the key hero. I just want to see the Aghanim so bad.
Well, with him getting picked off constantly now, it's not too likely that it will happen, at least not before the 60-minute mark or so, unless they really win a decisive team fight and get the towers on top of it. And well, Dazzle actually, he's working towards a pipe now. I guess the pipe, definitely, the Hood of Defiance in itself already helps against the shotgun. It's actually 30% spell resistance, so the shotgun, it's mitigated by a lot there. And of course, once he actually finishes up the pipe, that's gonna help as well. But coming back to the point where NS is the key figure for Empire, I totally have to agree, because actually every fight that Empire lost before they got their BKBs, they got caught in the Static Storm Kinetic Field.
Yeah, but one of the big problem is Empire the heroes are starting to tank up. So you've got the Aegis on Outworld Devourer, and Silent, he's gone an Ultimate Orb, going for that Manta Star, I suppose. And then Axe, he already has 3.3k HP with Heart, Vanguard, Aghanim Scepter, and who do you aim as Virtus.pro? Like, you gotta catch every single one of them in that one big team fight. If you leave someone out there, you know they're gonna do tons of damage.
But just look at the spread. Arsar goes in, actually catches all three with the vacuum, but the BKB was there and no follow-up to speak of. There's the relocate finally coming in. They might want to kill off Always Wanna Fly. They're going on Vanscore, but they just lose NS almost immediately. Arsar takes up. There's the Sanity. This Eclipse actually not doing all that much, so they're still alive somehow. As Silent has to escape. He doesn't have the Aegis. He actually goes down. Arsar still alive. Vanscore runs through the wall as well. Empire, it looked pretty decent, but suddenly it got turned around. They weren't able to kill off Darkshire. I think Resolution didn't focus him properly enough. I mean, they did get the melee racks, and I guess that's what they came here for, but Mag gets the blink out. Oh, he just gets glimpsed back again into the wall. Just look at those axes. Fighting all around, and Illidan, actually, he's gonna go down. But there's the slow, and Mag can't TP out either, and now Resolution, he's slowed down. I don't think he'll be able to escape. He has buyback, he has 5k gold, so he'll be fine, but he doesn't really want to have to waste it. And yeah, God, nothing he can do against that. Oh, are they gonna get Vanscore as well? Oh, just a disaster. There's the glimpse, Ray Fire Blast. 4 down, only getting Jotunn, and I guess the melee Rex. Do you think it's worth it?
Oh my god, can they relocate top? Oh, the IO's dead for another 13 seconds. I think they're gonna go for the relocate. They're already pinging it out at top. Wow,
Oh
how
my
did
God.
that Rax go down at top? I don't understand.
Yeah, they waited a long time for actually to relocate in with the IO and God. And oh, they're going
Oh,
for the
there we go,
relocate and
there we
Always
go.
Wanna Fly. Nowhere to run by the... Oh, a nice disruption, but it's only saving some time. And I guess Virtus.pro, they found their way back into this game.
Wow, I don't know what to say. It feels like the games that we cast, they're always gonna go back and forth, and I'm so happy.
Indeed, and well, it's fitting of a winner bracket final as well. And Empire,
Oh, man.
at least they won't have to buy back. At least I don't think they will. They don't have the glyph, but Virtus.pro, well, not all of their heroes are there. But whoa, one important pickup now, Arsart. He actually has the Scythe of the Vice now on himself as well. So they can hex up Empire in return. I mean, really the last fight, it started pretty well for Virtus.pro. 3-man vacuum before the BKBs into the wall. It didn't look like it's doing that much, but Empire, they got split up. And of course, I mean, OD having the Aegis instead of Silent, do you think that was actually the best choice for them?
Well, right now, I'm not sure. It feels like either one of them can do a lot of damage output, and it feels like Resolution was the ideal choice, since if he dies, he has a lot more to offer in team fights. He has a Scythe of Vice, he can Astral one of the heroes, he can spam out his Arcane Orb and ultimately drop the hammer, Sanity's Eclipse. And that fight, a lot of it had to do with just the wall's positioning. It was right bordering on the like high ground and low ground, and the supports from Empire, when they wanted to assist their teammates because they dove so deep, they had to walk through the wall. And the few times that Vanscore had to walk through the wall, it essentially just killed him. Those
Yeah.
illusions.
Do you think they should have just focused on the racks instead and not go for the kills, or maybe back off, wait for the wall to come or cool off and then just go again? But oh,
Yeah.
they might run into huge heaps of trouble. The smoke, Virtus.pro, they're just waiting in the enemy base. The smoke does wear off though in the end, and Resolution coming back to defend as well. He actually has another Mystic Staff, so finally racking up the intelligence.
Ah, okay. So, right now, it's a fairly even scenario right now. Empire broke half the racks down and bottom, but it's the important one. It's the melee racks. But VP, they've got the entire upper racks in the top lane. And this has to favor VP. Just looking at it. You've got the Wisp. You can always go for that Rat Dota, the split pushing. I can never forget the TI3 Grand Finals Game 5. That was just...
That was ridiculous. I mean, to be
Yeah.
honest, Puck just won them the game. Dream Coil just stopping like 3 or 4 TPs in front of their base. It's like, GG.
Yep. And now because one side of the racks are down, there's always going to be someone who has to split up and defend. And in this scenario, it's going to be Resolution. And he's got to be careful. Like, he's got to have that BKB ready. As soon as he sees someone trying to jump in, then he's got to pop it and then force his teammates to come and rotate. Otherwise, he's just gonna die to relocate from Wisp and Morphling. Right now, it's all about trying to find those pickoffs. Whoever can get the pickoffs. Oh, down at bottom. Is it gonna happen?
He should be
Is it gonna
safe. He
happen?
even has a Lincoln Sphere on the Mirana now, just to not get
Oh,
Clinked. Oh, but the
Blinks.
Clinks catches Mac. He doesn't get the Blink out as well. Oh, Moonlight Shadows will be enough. There's the Hex, Static Storm. But that's the Static Storm maybe wasted. It was an Aghanim Scepter one. Oh, God, they're going in. Resolution has the Shiva's card. He blows up NS. They want to go for Arsort as well. Will the arrow actually connect Silent? The timing is a little bit off, and there's the blink out, but in the back lines, Mag, shallow graved up, he wants to kill off Shotman and will be successful. There's the Calling Blade, a 2-for-0, but the fight is still going on. A Sanitas Eclipse does so much damage, but God just blows him up in return with the shotgun and always want to fly. Didn't even get the purge off. God, he's really strong now. Oh, Mag, another Calling Blade, but will it be enough? And God, oh, Silent, that damage. The right clicks are strong with him now, and Illidan, will there be? Yeah, the mini stun is there from the Monkey King bar. And a team wipe.
Oh wow.
That fight.
I just feel like what happened to Virtus.pro? Where's the detection? It just feel like as soon as the Moonlight Shadow went off, you couldn't find anyone. What happened?
Well,
Yeah.
they just didn't come prepared.
Did you see a dust? I don't think I saw a dust.
No,
If
I
they
don't
had the
think
dust,
there was one.
yeah, because halfway through you saw like the Wraith King and Morphling stop attacking, and they're like, "Yeah, I can't see my guy, I can't attack," and then it felt like Empire just repositioned themselves a little bit more. For a few seconds, Virtus.pro looked extremely strong. I thought they were gonna take it, but then Empire with that Moonlight Shadow, it felt like just found their footing in the fight, and then just wiped Virtus.pro. And now this is gonna be another Aegis for Empire.
Yeah, that's
and
cheese as well.
Oh my goodness.
And oh, actually, that's a butterfly finish for Silent now. He needs the Eagle Song now, and yeah, I think he can easily. I think he's just gonna pick up the Aegis. Yeah. Oh no, butterfly for him. Who's actually gonna pick up what? They want Resolution to get the Aegis, I think. And yeah, cheese by Mag, and yeah, they're just defending the Aegis.
Defense of the Aegis.
Yeah, some ballsy plays. I mean, of course, Morphling was dead, so nothing to be scared of, I guess.
Ah yeah, I was completely wrong about Silent's item. It was a Lincoln Sphere. I should have known. Well, yeah, Lincoln Sphere. Now it's becoming harder and harder for Morphling to do his work in a team fight. Who do you try to shotgun? You gotta go for the SD or Dazzle at this point. But Dazzle, look at him. Look at this guy. This guy is stacked. He's got the pipe, he's got the mech, he's got the urn. And when you try to aim the SD, he would just most likely disrupt himself. And you can no longer go for the Mirana because it has Lincoln Sphere as well as BKV. And honestly, do you really want to go for a 3.2k HP axe with like no right click damage essentially?
The Axe actually has now an Assault Cuirass as well, so tanking up even more. And at least that's now 1 AC on both sides. Illidan had it for the last fight already. But still, the Wraith King, I mean, he's just a walking aura for the lifesteal as well as the armor.
It feels like the Wraith King, Illidan, he's been very lackluster in this game. Like, sure, he's been going into the mix, but he's getting ignored. I don't know if you noticed, like, people just tend not to go for him. They're like, yeah, this guy does, like, minimal damage. Everyone else on his team is a lot more useful. The Wisp can relocate someone out of trouble. Doxia, he's got boots for travel. Oh, man, this guy is stacked as well. And then, of course, NS with the Aghanim Scepter, Disruptor, level 16. I wish they could pull off that combo.
Yeah, actually,
I'm so
well,
eager.
they had the Aghanims for the last fight on NS already. But now, God, he has an Eye of Skadi as well. He's just a monster as far as stats go.
Oh yeah, so let's look at his intelligence. That's 126. And OD, okay, OD still has a lot more, so
Yeah,
it's still
finally,
gonna
he
do
has
some
the
damage.
Sheep Stick and Shiva's card, but I mean, Arsart, not too far behind of OD, to be honest.
Yeah, I would say resolution, man. If you get enough money, sell that 4-staff, get a Lincoln's, and get Refresher Orb, and there's no stopping to this OD.
Yeah, well, they do want to put a stop to him, but whether they'll be able to, that's a whole different matter. And well, they actually might get caught. Silent is not around.
Oh my
NS
goodness.
is there. Oh, the Static Storm
Oh,
doesn't come
what's
out, but
going
there's the shotgun. BKB activated. Sanity's Eclipse. Oh, shot me hexed up as well. They might get the IO. A nice mech Static Storm with the kinetic field, but the 4-staff just before the kinetic field. Oh, they might get resolution. Nice defensive Astral Imprisonment. And well, this fight, it's just going all the way, and Resolution is still alive. He gets stunned, but Mac gets the first Calling Blade. Extra movement speed for them. A nice disruption coming out, but the wall vacuum Resolution. No BKB, Shallow Grave though. Oh, shot, so much damage coming out by them. Silent just delivering with the right clicks. And now God, the last hero to survive, goes down as well. And the Aegis, of course, it was up on them, and Illidan. He died once, he'll die twice, and NS, the only one to survive. And I really don't understand why NS didn't start with the Static Storm.
Oh, they got greedy there. He wanted to wait for a little bit more hero. Plus, it will be virtually impossible to kill off Illidan. To kill off Resolution as well as Mag. Because, look at their support heroes. Shadow Demon plus Shadow Breeze. They can essentially just keep OD alive indefinitely. As long as the supports don't die themselves. And now, with that failed attempt, it seems like it's going to cost them at least one side of Rex. Or are they going to go straight for the GG?
Well,
yeah, they're going to go straight for the
doesn't
GG.
have buyback. He's 5 gold short. 5 damn gold. Oh god.
1 gold. 1 gold. Alright, he's got the buyback.
Yeah, Wraith King comes back as well, so the 2 cores are there. Oh, a glimpse on Mag as well, or Vanscore rather. He actually will go down, and nope. Astral Imprisonment is still out. Will they turn it around? Another Static Storm, but they just all run out of it. They don't care. NS gets taken out. And now God trying to man fight. He has the Eye of Skadi, but he's free against 1 Mag coming in with a nice Berserker's Call as well. He's so damn tanky. God does almost no damage. He picks off Vanscore at the very least. The Resolution, he's stunned up. He doesn't care too much. And Illidan, he don't want to man fight the OD. Or does he? Some nice evasions with the Heaven's Halberd, but they just won't be enough. And now Arsar, Shiva Scar coming out, his slowdown. He has the Surge though, the right clicks, and Resolution finishes up with the last Arcane Orb and Illidan. He's not tanky enough for easy tether movement speed. Oh, relocate out, but they relocate back? What? What? Oh god, well, I think...
had to be a graphical glitch earlier, because what happened was, he tried to relocate the Morphling back into the fountain, but somehow the relocate just went without the Morphling, without any stuns or anything. So that has to be a glitch, and this time he was trying to tether the Wraith King to save him within those 10 seconds, but then the relocate ended, so it actually brought them outside the fountain, sadly. So it's a very unfortunate thing.
What a game! What a game! Such excitement! Wow. I mean, it's awesome, and Empire, I mean, they delivered in the end. OD, like you said, actually, against the Morphling and late game, pretty damn strong.
Oh yeah.
But I guess that's it for game number 1 then. But don't go anywhere, as game number 2 in a best of 3 series is about to come up shortly, and some music until then.
Such exciting Dota every day.
Indeed. Man, my heart is getting trained.